Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 8. We are over here on a brand new island and it is time for Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to be looking at PvP tricks with Tand.
Oi.
So there we go, Tand is over here and yeah, I'll pass it over to Tand. Tand is basically SkySaga's PvP master right now, so he's going to give us just the rundown of some basics and some really good combat tactics to use here in SkySaga PvP.
So I wanted to start off by talking about counter weapons or whatever. So I'll start off with the hammer or two-handed weapon, as you've got an axe, as you can clearly see. Either way, the hammer is a two-handed weapon, or the axe is also a two-handed weapon, whatever you want to call it. Anything works. They're practically identical. However, the axe has been seen to have a longer reach. Either way, it's a heavy weapon. A heavy weapon that decreases your speed immensely, but deals a lot of damage. I would recommend using this weapon by jump attacking instead of charging, as you can cancel weapon attacks using the other weapons. So if you would just charge up real quick. No, so just charge up. Now, it cancelled your attack.
Right, okay.
It deals slightly more damage when you charge, but that doesn't really matter that much in the long run. So, if I were to attack you once with a regular hit, you will get about 321 damage from a basic hammer attack. Now, two-handed weapons are what I would call the fastest weapons to use, apart from the bow. But the bow is more agile in a different way. Either way, the two-handed weapons are more of an in-your-face weapon, so you are supposed to stay close but kind of away from your opponent. A good strategy to use this for is by using cover as your defense mechanism. So I could walk around you all day like this, and if you try to jump attack me, I would still be able to go away pretty easily. Now, something I would encourage doing is that jump attacking is also a very high source of damage with this weapon. However, a very good way to mow down your opponents would be to attack after attack.
Very, very effective.
Let's get into the shield. Now, the shield I would not say is not that great. It can be very useful for blocking arrows. That's about as much as I can say about it, though.
Yeah, because if you put the shield up now, I can just break through that with this axe weapon, right?
Although something, yeah. Though not that much, so I would still reduce damage.
Wow, okay, I couldn't even break through it.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. Either way, what's so bad about this the shield is the fact that you can still work around it. Since the shield only covers one part of the body, you can easily attack from the side and still deal a massive amount of damage. So, hold on. If you take this shield, I can still work from your sides while you shield. So, you'll still take 129 damage. However, yeah, you can also stagger people with it, which is great. But wait. You take no damage from the front, but on the side you will always take 121 or 29 or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like 129 damage.
Yeah. Now, if you aren't shielding from the front, you also take the same amount of damage. So, I'd say that the shield is kind of quirky as of right now, and I think that it should be worked upon, because it's pretty weak. Right, let's get back into the next weapon, the bow. Now, what's great about the bow is that you can make use of higher ground. So if I were to be on top of this, make a lot of damage to mow you down, although you can still shield it. sneaky bastard. Alright. Either way, I can make I can deal a lot of damage from a long distance, as long as I rapidly fire arrows. And an easy way to get away from your opponent with this is by simply dashing.
Okay, now, how do you dash for those people who have never dashed before?
Right, so in order to dash, you will need to click either A, S, D, or whatever your movement keys are. So sideways or backward.
Mm-hmm.
And then while moving, you click shift once.
Click shift once.
Click shift once.
Well, yep, there we go. Wow, that gets you a long way pretty quickly.
Yes. And it's very useful in PvP. Thank the SkySaga gods. Either way, let's get into countering. So, a huge counter for the two-handed weapon are dual wielding weapons. Now, why this is such a counter is because of the fact that you can mow them down pretty easily, especially if they're inexperienced with the two-handed. Now, an inexperienced two-handed wielder would usually charge their weapon in order to deal the maximum amount of damage. Now, I can simply attack them once. Why did that? I can attack them once, and it should, though it's not. What? What's happening?
It did break earlier. The last time we tested this, it broke.
Countering the two-handed is quite easy if you know how, because it's a very manipulative weapon of knockback, and it's very easy to get away from because it's such a low agility weapon. So, if you were to charge attack me here, I will be able to dash back to you very easily from the knockback. Now, this is called knockback denying. Well, this is what I subbed it at least.
Yeah, and so
Either
basically,
way, this allows you to get...
so the plan is to make sure that you're back in underneath the person before they can charge the weapon again, right?
Yes. And once you have taken the damage, this is not recommended if you have low health, but you know, it's more of a last resort kind of thing.
Okay.
So, the situation where this would usually happen is if they get the ground on you and they manage to catch you by surprise. If you manage to see it in time, you can, if you have the reaction skill, teleport back to them using the dash.
Yeah, and then you can get in a few more hits while they get their weapon back into position.
Yes.
Very cool.
Okay, so back to two-handed. So the two-handed weapon is not very easy to counter. I'd say it's the hardest to counter in the game as of right now. So the best way to counter the two-handed is by using a bow. So if you take my two-handeds,
Mm-hmm.
I will want this back afterwards.
Of course.
Alright, so the two-handed weapon is a very agile weapon, but so is the arrows. Not the arrows, the bow. So I can still dash around you and deal a lot of damage. Now usually people take a break to wait a second after taking damage because they want to reevaluate where they are. This is very easy to take advantage of and try to deal a lot of hits out of nowhere. So if they do take out their dual-handeds, or two-handeds, no, not the two-handeds, dual wields, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A very good idea is to take out your bow to counter it. Now, a good strategy for dealing with them is by dashing around them. Although my aim is terrible right now.
Well, you're still hitting me more than I'm hitting you, so that's a good start.
Yes. Let's tag it again.
It's also very hard to hit somebody who's dashing.
Yes. Although, I'd say that it's kind of like a cycle in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything counters another, kind of like rock, paper, scissors. So
Right.
the bow is countered by the shield. Because
Yep.
it can literally block all the attacks, and it's very easy to pinpoint your location and just, wait for them to attack. Now this way you can get close up on them. Even though they try to get away, they won't be able to do anything to you. Because you will have a shield.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing weapon. Is that it? I think that's
Uh,
it.
yeah. So two-handed weapons get countered by dual wielding. Dual wielding gets countered by the bow. The bow gets countered by the shield.
Yeah.
And the shield really gets countered by the two-handed weapons because usually you can break through them or jump over top of them or something.
I'd say that the two-handed, the shield is countered by two things. It can be countered by the dual wields as well.
Yeah. Okay.
However, in order to counter them with the dual wields, you have to take some ground. But it's also very easy to deal with. So you're still very vulnerable with this shield, but it's very good for dealing with the bow.
Yeah.
So if you plan on playing a lot of PvP, I'd say that you get at least one of each weapon. It doesn't matter what quality they are, as long as you have the weapon. Now, okay. All right.
Sorry.
So the thing about the weapons is that they're the important part, not the armor. A lot of people seem to believe that getting better armor is important, although that is not that important whatsoever. In fact, I'd say that less armor is better in a way, or at least light armor. Now, light armor is probably the best armor as of right now because it offers the most agility, which is the most useful thing to have in PvP right now. Why?
Okay.
Is because agility allows you to get around places faster, and it also incorporates with your dash very, very well, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can dash further and use less stamina, which means you can dash a couple of times and still have stamina to hit people at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes. I also find that using heavier armor, you're much more vulnerable than somebody who uses light armor. Although you take less damage, you're much easier to hit.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to wail on you and do all of the extra damage that you need to do because you just can't get out of the way.
If you're gonna use heavy armor, you get better stick with the shielded.
Mm-hmm.
It's your only source of protection. Now, I want to get into some interesting facts or whatever that I find kind of weird. So I find that a dual wielding jump attack deals about as much damage as a one wielded damage attack. Now this is strange because there's not a lot of reason to have a dual wield in the first place, so you might as well just be one wielded. So you might as well always use the shield instead of the dual wield.
Okay.
However, the dual wield is still deals a tiny bit more damage, just still worth having, I guess. And it's way better than the shield that it also happens to be in your inventory. You can very easily switch. So right now, 371 damage. 357.
Yeah, so dual wielding does just a slight amount more, but it doesn't do double what you get off of a single.
Yes. And I find that kind of strange. Radiant Worlds, please fix. This is not okay. Is it Trix that's in charge right now? It's Trix. Trix, please fix. Alright. So, that's about it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for those. I mean, I have personally learned a lot because I am not very good at PvP and it's something that I don't do often. However, it's definitely something that I probably should do a lot more of. So, these little tips do help out a lot. And yeah, from what I'm kind of seeing, jump attacks are possibly the way to go with a lot of weapons, but they also do leave you open for damage, which is something you just need to kind of do a couple of times and make sure you understand where you're vulnerable and make sure you're not around people when that's going to happen.
Pretty much. I also recommend light armor.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as much as I need to say about it.
Yeah, so right now we're both wearing the same... Oh no, we're not wearing the same thing. I'm wearing Steel Palace Guard breastplate, and you're wearing the Warlock's armor?
Yes, that is the best by far. Well, no, the snow combat is the best by far, but you know, it's pretty close.
But of course, the snow combat you can only get by leveling up your gladiator pretty high, so it's something that you'd only really have later on when you've been playing PvP for a little while.
That's also Palace Guard.
Okay, Palace Guard.
You can have them if you want. I don't need them whatsoever.
Put on some Palace Guard stuff as well. Nice. So of course there are metal values do have an effect on weapons and armor. So I will leave a link in the description down below to the wiki that has all of the material values and benefits and things. So some of the metals are better for giving speed to things, which is what you'd want in your light armor. And then some metals give better damage, but also kind of take away stamina and take away speed. So it's a little bit of a balancing act trying to work out what weapons work best for you. Because I don't think any weapon is particularly better than any other weapon in terms of metal combination. It's just what suits your playstyle better than anything else, essentially.
So the thing is, here's a sad truth is that we get the least amount of marks, and we also don't get the materials needed in order to craft our gear. So we have to play Explorer on the side, which I am not very fond of. In fact, I hate Explorer with passion.
Yeah, but if you do play a lot of Explorer, then you have materials that are ready to go.
So yeah, practically. If you're not into Explorer, a good way of getting metal and materials in general is by just checking out the market every day.
Yeah, because they do.
Or asking somebody who does play Explorer a lot.
Yeah.
Because it might help.
Yeah, well, people who explore a lot have a lot of material just kind of lying around in chests. And yeah, the markets do cycle through pretty much every color of metal and fabric and wood and all of that kind of stuff. So
yeah, materials trader is the one, I think. Yeah, that should be the one.
That's the one. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tan, for coming along and sharing your PvP knowledge. So Tan does play quite a lot of PvP, and now with the new PvP system in place, you can queue yourself up and you can go off and do other things while waiting for new people to play. Or I think one of the more effective ways is posting things on the forums and asking people if they want to come along and play some PvP, because that seems to be a good way of getting a PvP match going. Okay.
By the way, it's been great. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next episode.